In last week's vlog, I read a book series that I actually DNF'd the first time I picked it up, which is the Binding 13 series. I read books 1 and 2 last week and I actually was very surprised by how much I enjoyed them. So in this vlog, we're going to be continuing the series and reading Saving and Redeeming 6, which are books 3 and 4. I love Joey and Aoife so much. I'm so excited to read about their characters and just to get into it. So if you're new here, subscribe for more book content and let's get right into the vlog. That's crazy. Hello, welcome to a new reading vlog. My name is Sophie, welcome to my channel. I am currently reading Saving 6 on my Kindle, which is the third book in the Boys of Tommen series. So far, Saving 6 is going so well. It's actually going incredibly well. If you watched that first vlog, which I'm not going to spoil anything that I said in that video, but one critique that I had with Binding and Keeping 13 was the relationship between Johnny and Shannon, because in my opinion, Shannon could be a little bit of a wimp sometimes and I want her to speak up for herself more. However, in these books of the series with Joey and Aoife speaks up way more for herself. She is a very headstrong and outspoken character, so I really appreciate that the author can write a different character, and I just like their relationship and like the interactions between their characters more than Johnny and Shannon. Yeah, so anyway, I'm actually currently, I think 70% of the way through this book. So I've been reading for a while now. I think I'm on like day 3, maybe 4 of reading this book, but I already know this is going to be a 5 stars. I don't care how it ends because while I love the first 2 books, I just think this one is so much better. It's more up my alley of like the tropes it has in it. And also I just love Joey as a character, and when we left off in the first 2 books, he was not doing well at all. And so this book is actually flashbacks to before the first 2 books when we get to see the beginning of Joey and Aoife's relationship. And then I think the next book is going to be after the first 2 books. We get to see the aftermath of everything that happened at the end of Keeping 13. Like I said, he's in a not good place, and then kind of seeing him and Aoife repair things. Let's just say that, and I'm very excited for that. So overall, it's just going really well, and I can already feel the 5-star energy, which I'm super excited about. And I'll give you guys an update whenever I get further into it. Okay, I had to turn on the camera for this. I'm still reading. And one last thing before I go. Joey was thinking in his head how Aoife is just so confident with herself. He just made it so clear. That's the main difference between her and Shannon. Shannon is not confident in herself at all. Aoife is. And there is truth in both characters, and both characters have flaws, both characters have strengths. However, I just prefer reading about a character like Aoife because I think I relate more to a character like Shannon, and I obviously don't want to read about people with the same flaws that I have. That I think is the main difference between the 2 girls. And I guess depending on which character profile you prefer, that may distinguish which book you prefer, possibly. I don't know. If you've read the series, comment down below what you think about that, because yeah, that might just be something to think about, to ponder on. Anyway. Of course she's there. Of course she came to talk to you. Me neither. Okay. Why would you wait till last minute? Oh my god. What am I supposed to say to the end of that book? It ended just as abruptly as Binding 13 did going into Keeping 13. Like in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of conversation. And I need to keep reading. So where it says read the next book. Yeah. Because what the hell? Listen, I can't read now. I have to go like make breakfast, but what do I even say? Absolute 5 stars. Number 1. I said that from the beginning. I have no complaints. It is a perfect book. Characters amazing. Story, amazing. Not only is this a lot about domestic abuse like the first two books were, but this also has a lot more about addiction, and it's just so well done. So well done. Aoife and Joey are everything. The writing's actually kind of good in this book. Like, I noticed that the author published this book last year in 2023 when the first books were published in 2018. So maybe in that like 5-year gap, she like, I don't know, improved or something, because this one I didn't notice any bad writing like at all. I felt really connected with it. The ending was heartbreaking as usual. This entire book is heartbreaking, but it's so good. I know you can't see because I'm wearing a hoodie, but like I have goosebumps, and like, and I have to keep reading the next book now because I need to know what happens. I guess we'll see in this book, in, what's this one called? In Redeeming Six. We'll see. Oh, well, it's redeeming him. Good. Thank the Lord. Thank Jesus. Yeah, he needs some redeeming. That's for sure. They both do. I'm so unwell. Okay, I'm gonna go make breakfast and like put myself together. Hello, new day. I think this is like 2 days later. I did my nails last night. How do you guys like them? I do these like DIY gel nails at home, and honestly I mess these up a lot, like especially this nail was quite like ugly, but from far away like they look really cool. Anyway, so update on the book. I'm currently 30% through the book. I didn't read very much last night because I was like bone tired. I had to go to bed, but this one is so good. It's gonna be a 5-star again. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I already feel the 5-star vibes and I can't stop them from like taking over me. Like, I love this series. I love Joey. I love Aoife. They're everything. They're everything. I don't know how I can like say this enough and make you guys like feel what I'm feeling without telling you just to go read the books yourselves. Without spoiling, there's so much going on with like family issues, romance issues, people breaking up, getting together, drugs, or people are stupid. People are stupid. But I did want to say one of my favorite parts of Redeeming Six right now is how the timeline lines up with Binding 13 and Keeping 13, because there are so many scenes, like the scene in the movie theater, like scenes at Joey's house, scenes at school, whenever he's like calling Shannon. There are direct lines from book one, and it's so fun to see the same part of the story from a different perspective. Number one, a different POV, especially when it's Aoife's point of view, because I love Aoife and I love reading like what's in her head and how she views Joey and Joey taking care of his family, because Joey doesn't think that he is a good person at all. Joey kind of hates himself, but Aoife obviously loves Joey, and Aoife can see how Joey is incredibly selfless and is always taking care of his siblings before anything else. He's just such a selfless person, and so seeing that like duality between him talking about himself versus her talking about him, and her point of view of scenes with him and Shannon, that's like a trippy sentence, but like it's so fun to read because you basically see the other side of the story that you read about in Binding and Keeping 13. Additionally, what's really interesting is there's a lot of complexities to Aoife and Joey's relationship. I honestly think they have more plot going on than Shannon and Johnny did. And so it's interesting to see like all these conflicts that are building and building and building, and how they're mixing in with the story of Shannon, because obviously Joey is very involved in Shannon's life. I know that is the most vague explanation of all time. Unfortunately, I can't get any more specific than that because I don't want to spoil it for you, because I want you to read it. Like, I want you to go and read it if you haven't already. But if you have read it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on. There's a lot, but it's just really well done the way that it's organized plot-wise. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much, and I'm sad for them. I know they're gonna make it through it. They're gonna work through it. They're gonna be okay. I know it. All the conflicts that they have, everything that's going on, they will overcome it. All love from me for the book right now. I'll talk to y'all soon. I wish I could be the kind of person that makes aesthetically pleasing reading vlogs, but it's like freezing in here and my tummy hurts. So this is as good as you're gonna get. This is a really sad part. Like, when I say watch your triggers with this book, I mean watch your triggers. Oh. I'm turning you off, but best believe I'm gonna keep reading for like 2 more hours, at least. Update, literally 2 minutes later. I'm gonna vomit. Oh my god. If you've read the book, it's the beginning of chapter 42. I'm actually gonna throw up. Okay, good morning. I have to make a quick little update. I'm at the 50% mark of this book. I literally read like, what is that, 25% between last night and this morning. And when I tell you the conflicts have conflicted, okay? It's like, oh, it's actually terrifying because there's so much going on. The first thing I want to say real quick, in the books, Joey is blonde. I'm sorry, Chloe Walsh, you're incorrect. Joey is a brunette, and you can't convince me otherwise. I don't make the rules, except I do in this case because he is a brunette. Okay, now I'm gonna say some spoilery things about Redeeming Six. So if you haven't read it or you haven't gotten this far in the series, please skip to this timestamp right over here because I have to talk about this. I can't be vague. So I'll give you a couple seconds to skip. Skip, skip, skip. Skip ahead. Mute the video. Whatever you need to do. All right, ready? So she's pregnant. This girl did not see that coming. I saw a lot of things coming. I did not see that coming. She's pregnant with his kid. They're 19. He's still doing drugs. My poor baby can't get off of them. And it's frustrating because in this book, we've gone through the cycle like 2 or 3 times of drug addict, got off, got better, but then kind of went back to it. And I get the point of doing that is to emphasize what it's like in Eva's point of view because she is watching him go through this over and over. And it's a choice that he has to make for himself. He can't make it for Eva. And I noticed that in the first book, he was doing it for Eva. So I understand that there has to be a mind switch for him to actually stay permanently sober. But like, babe, you have a kid coming in like 5 months. Stop doing cocaine. You know, figure your life out. For the love of God. The thing that I read last night that you guys saw my reaction of like right after I shut off the camera, Teddy, what he tried to do to Aoife, I was actually like, I felt sick to my stomach in that scene. I was unwell yesterday. And then after the scene where Joey and Aoife sit at the dining table with both their parents, telling them about like the pregnancy and everything, not even telling them because she didn't even get a chance to tell him. It came out in class. Her freaking brother, Kevin, honestly might be the true villain of all of this because I know that Joey's parents are like my #1 hated characters this entire series, but I think Kevin's going for #3 because tell me why he thought it was a good idea to tell his friend, Eva's ex, who spread it to the entire school so that Joey found out after the entire class did when it's his son. Well, I keep saying son. It's his kid. But I know it's gonna be a boy just because of the story, like because of the whole Joey's dad thing, it has to be his son. Anyway, that was messed up. I was like, Kevin, someone needs to pummel you in the ground. Like actually, like I'll commit murder for Aoife if it means I can kill that man, that boy, not that man, that boy. And then Aoife's parents not even realizing like the full extent of the relationship between Joey and his parents. I'm like, brother, are y'all blind? You did notice the pregnancy, you did notice the drugs, and I don't even notice the bruises that he comes home with like every other week. Open your eyes. This man is suffering. And now he has a child to take care of. And now Aoife has a child to take care of. She's 19. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm actually like not doing well. Anyway, with that being said, spoilers are over. Let's get back to like the normal, very vague updates. But I had to say something because it's like all being trapped in here and I gotta, you know. So I finished the book last night and I didn't vlog any of it because from the hours of like 11:30 to like 2 a.m. I basically went through like every emotion imaginable. Almost cried, didn't cry, but almost cried. And after it was done, felt like numb and basically just like laid on my bed in silence for about 20 minutes because it was over. But I did still give it 5 stars. What do I even say? What do I even say? I really should have vlogged my reaction, but this book was just so hard. And it's hard to vlog because every page makes me feel like emotional and sad. And it's also hard because it's book 4 in the series, so I can't spoil anything. Just as a whole, this was such a beautiful book. And I'm kind of talking about these 2 books together, Saving and Redeeming Six, because it's one continuous story and they're both 5 stars to me. I love Joey and Eva's relationship way more than Johnny and Shannon. I like those characters, but Joey and Aoife's relationship is just so much more intense, so much more plot heavy, so much more like brutal and emotional. And personally, I think I've realized that my favorite genre ever is like sad romance or like heartbreaking romance with a happy ending though. I don't want a sad ending. Like I want it to be like sad and heartbreaking through the process, but at the end, everything ends up okay. Because that's how Manacled was and that's how these 2 books are. And those have all been 5 stars. So even though the book's a little repetitive because it's a very long book, it's like, I don't know, what does Goodreads say? This is over 1,000 pages. I'm not sure if that's accurate. That is the Kindle edition. I can never find the accurate pages for these books, but even though it's a long book and I still think everything could be a little bit shortened, I think that these second 2 books don't really need to be shortened as much as the first 2 because the repetitiveness adds to the emotional feeling of just getting Joey out of that detrimental and just self-sacrificing cycle. Aoife's amazing. They're just amazing together. I've noticed that Chloe Walsh does not end books very well. Yeah, I honestly felt like the ending of this was a little underwhelming. The last chapter was actually in Shannon's point of view, but I didn't care about Shannon right now. I wanted to hear about Joey and Aoife. So like the last chapter, seeing them, they were so cute. Like it was a very happy ending, but like I didn't really need to be in Shannon's point of view. I think a couple things left a little bit unsolved, like the relationship with one of Joey's brothers that I won't be specific about, the relationship with Aoife's parents. I think those were kind of left a little bit open-ended, but I didn't totally mind that because it might be relationships that take a couple of years to grow past the issues that they had. I think the ending with Joey and his parents was solid. I wish the reunion with Joey and Aoife was a little bit more emotional. It felt very rushed, but obviously because of the plot, there was a reason it was rushed. I'm not gonna spoil, but I don't know, the ending, like the very, very last 2 chapters to me were just a little bit like, oh, that's it kind of thing. Like I wanted to finish off in like Joey's perspective, really, more than anyone else, but we finished in Shannon's. But other than that, even though she really can't end chapters and she can't end books, I still think that as a whole, it's fabulous. It's just fabulous. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, honestly. I wish I vlogged more. I'm sorry I didn't, but I was just overwhelmed last night and didn't pick up the camera. Read the series. That's all I can tell you. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't seen kind of like part 1 where I read the first 2 books of the series, definitely go check that out. It'll be right here on the screen at the end of the video. Subscribe and join my little corner of the internet. I love making book videos over here and I would love for you to stick around. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. I will see you in just a couple. And if you want to see part 1, the video will be right here on the screen.